many shrimps do you have to eat before your skin turns pink? That's not how it goes.
Ben's been looking for a new musical taste. He's getting tired of the same old
death grips and stuff.
Yeah, he's looking for something a little bit more fun, a little bit lighter.
Some Caro Benito.
Yeah, something to brighten his spirits instead of taking him farther down.
Yeah, into that pit of despair.
The bottomless pit.
Ooh. Yeah, you got that.
That was some highbrow.
It's a thinker.
Yeah.
Caro Benito covered I've seen footage at one of their concerts. I saw it on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
It's strange.
Like they started playing it, and then the audience was like, ah! Like they went freaking crazy.
Is that crazy. The Caro Benito? That's the shrimp?
Yeah. It's like this Japanese girl, and then like her two friends.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is she popular?
Yeah, they're pretty popular.
Interesting. How popularity works.
Yeah. With the internet, anybody can be popular.
That's true.
Like, there's no way that Caro Benito would have been a thing
if it was
like in the 80s or something.
Yeah.
Or even like Lil Pump or something. Yeah, like there's no way that without the internet.
I think there's definitely there's a weird thing that happens, like a switch that happens when you have someone on their own, like if you had Lil Pump on their own, I haven't listened to Caro Benito, but if you had her on her own, and it's a weird thing where you may not like, there's a lot of things that you may not like if you don't have experience with them on the internet or with friends, because like a lot of what you like and the things that you enjoy or your preferences and stuff come from a lot of like environmental stuff.
Yeah.
I think, and so I think the internet, like Lil Pump was popular. He probably shouldn't have been popular for
have you
as
heard,
long as he was.
Have you heard the theory that he's not really what he says he is? He's like an industry built person. Like they took some kid and then they like morphed him into this thing, this like figure, this like hedonistic like rapper and stuff.
No, I haven't, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I saw this this YouTube video on it. It was like a compilation. It was over like interviews with him on podcasts and stuff, and it's basically the exact opposite of his persona on records. He's very soft spoken, very quiet, reserved, stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool because the music industry no longer really decides what's popular anymore,
Okay, it's more of...
Because now with the internet, people can decide, what gets attention.
Yeah.
Instead of being handed to say what is you should be listening to, like back in the 50s or 60s,
Right. They can like kind of look for themselves rather than being like handed things. Yeah. Because they didn't have access to it.
Because back in the 80s and 90s, it's very limited because you didn't have streaming and stuff, right? People and records and CDs are expensive, so you could only buy so many, and it was I'd guess it would be a big decision to decide what you wanted to buy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that really limits things that can get exposure. Because why would you take a chance on this band you haven't heard of that costs $11? When you could stay safe and just get this other one that you've listened to on the radio or something.
That is. You're right.
But then now with streaming, you can just listen to it and say,
see if you like it.
Yeah, see if you like it, and it's free, pretty much, Yeah. That it is bad on the artist, of course. Then that's the downside, because the artists don't get fairly compensated.
Because of streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. Okay, we have
oh my goodness.
If you haven't guessed, this is the B&E pod. You don't know what's happening. If you've woken up from a coma and you're listening and you're tuning in, this is episode 28 of the 27. I think it's 27.
27.
Wait, I think I'm gonna check. I checked beforehand to make sure I got it right, but now I've forgotten. Yeah, if you've woken up in a coma and you're tuning in, you're currently listening to the B&E podcast, episode 27. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Ben. We're coming at you live from room 505.
That's right. We're currently stationed in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Area code.
Okay, first off, we have a tank date. Isn't that what you said? Yeah. You said last time we were at a tank date? An update.
Tank date.
There are So
28? Did you say 28 egg
yeah,
patches?
so I don't know where
gosh.
exactly we left off with the snails last week, but there are currently 28 little gelatinous patches of eggs that the pond snails have.
One of them is attached to another snail.
So I have the two species in there, the Malaysian trumpet snails and the pond snails, and the pond snails have been laying eggs like crazy, and I haven't seen any. I don't think there are any like new babies from the trumpets. But the largest trumpet snail that I have has pond snail eggs on its back.
They can't stop breeding.
That it's toting around. There's so many in there. They're all over the sides of the glass.
Like, at first I was like, a few days ago, Ethan was like, should I take some of them out? And I was like, no, you got to keep them in there. But now I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is going to get bad in a few weeks.
I think exactly, because I know which patch got laid first, and I've been kind of monitoring it. So you can see there's little white dots inside the pond snail eggs, and the one that was hatched first, or was laid first, I can see is developed. So the little white dots are like now kind of starting to develop kind of looks like a fortune cookie, like it's a circle with a little dip in it, and so it's like the shell. It's the shell and everything is kind
are
of
born
forming.
with shells?
Yeah, but they harden.
Oh.
They have to harden. They're like soft at first, and then they have to use like the
They have to like pour concrete.
chemicals. They have to secrete this. Yeah, they basically just have to harden their own shells once they get.
You got to get hard.
Bigger, but I'm not. I think it'll be another week. I think it'll be a week, and we'll have little hatchy boys. I'm not really sure what to do. Right now, there's an unmanageable amount of snails, but I don't really have to manage them, right? I just have to feed them. I have to do water changes. I think the water is starting to get dirty faster, which means I think I need to do like a larger water change. And then I did say that I would do a full like a deep clean, but it's gonna be hard to do that with eggs.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. I don't have a container that I can put them in. Like because I could take out the eggs, and then I could let them hatch, and then I could put them back into the tank, but I don't really have any containers for that right now. I just have I have the little container that the mothballs came in, and I use that for water changes, so I can't really have eggs in there. Anyways, so that'll be something we have to figure out. But that is the tank date. There are no eggs that have hatched as of now, but there are many incoming. I think there's probably 8 to 10 eggs per. Hey, we can put them in your Keurig.
Oh no! And they get like sucked up and then they're boiled.
Ew, gross.
Jeez.
That's disgusting. No, I don't want to put them in your Keurig. I wonder what would happen if you froze snail eggs.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, like, what if we wanted to stockpile a bunch of eggs and then
put them in like Sammy's drink or something?
Yeah, we give them to our worst enemy. Because
worst enemy? Sammy's not our worst enemy.
Our fish you can get frozen.
Sammy's our best friend.
Mr. Brown got his tarantula frozen, I think.
What? Why?
That's how they ship them.
Oh.
And so, but then they like defrost and then live.
What?
And so I wonder if snail eggs are like that. I kind of want to try it. For science.
In the name of science.
Yeah, this tank is in the name for science.
It is.
Weather today is it's like brisk but sunny.
Yeah, it's kind of cold.
Confusing.
I wore my sunglasses.
Cold. Yeah, it's cold, but the sun is out and about. I have a list. What are some things that we played? Blades in the Dark.
Oh yeah, Blades in the Dark.
What is Blades in the Dark?
All right, Blades in the Dark is a tabletop role-playing game where it's like D&D, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it only uses 6-sided dice, and it's like takes
opposed
place
to like the 20-sided
dice.
like in anything, because like D&D had a lot of different.
different dice.
Different like skills and
Yeah.
damage.
So it's like so you're a gang of scoundrels, as they call it in the game, in this industrial fantasy city, and you have to pull off heists and stuff and do jobs and then build your gang up. And then you have rival gangs, which the players haven't gotten to that yet because they're still starting out as a gang, as a crew.
Yeah, we haven't even like formed. We haven't really
Formed a gang yet. Yeah.
But so we played on Sunday night,
Yeah.
and I think we should have that as a schedule. I think
Yeah.
we should have that as a thing, Sunday night.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But it was a lot of fun. So Sammy and I, we both got it. We both chose our like person. I just realized we didn't roll for damage once.
Yeah.
Which is
So
nice.
you don't have hit points.
We
So-
chose stress, right?
Here, I'll show you. This is probably going to show up on the mic terribly. All right. So right here is your harm.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember.
So
Harm.
like you fill up, you fill it in.
Yeah,
And
it's
stuff
like the
that.
minor wounds and the
Yes.
major wound, and then
Yeah.
like critical or whatever the heck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. So Sammy and I we got together on Sunday. We played. So Sammy's playing as
A whisper.
Sammy is playing as a whisper.
It's
which
like
is
like the mage basically.
yeah, like a ghost mage.
And
And then I'm playing as a leech, which is like a saboteur.
Yeah, technician.
A technician saboteur. And so that was fun.
Yeah. They had to rig the books at this arena place.
Yeah, we had to. Our employer had his name is in this like debtor's book of the jackals, and so we had to sneak into this dogfighting arena where it was known that they were keeping the books, and we had to scratch his name off the list so we wouldn't have to owe any more money, and we completed it in record time.
Yeah. It was that's really cool about Blades in the Dark is that it doesn't take a long time, and there's no planning in the game. That sounds weird, but like you just jump right into the action. Then you can call for flashbacks.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
Which adds stress, but then you can like say, "Oh, I prepared this so and so before," and then it adds it into the story.
Yeah, and so it kind of takes out some of the awkward like. If you forget to do something like in another role-playing game or something, that's like a big concept. That's kind of like a big thing because then it kind of takes you out of it.
Yeah.
When it's like when you're like, oh, I did this. Will you let me do this thing? When a player's like talking to the DM and it's like, oh, can I bring my sword? Can I have my sword?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I already had my sword out or something. And like flashbacks let you kind of build onto the story backwards, and it's kind of a really cool.
Something that I read in the book that it was talking about in the Blades in the Dark book. It was like what was it? How in other role playing games, normal role playing games, they it kind of turns into I hit him, he hits me, like a slog like that.
Yeah.
Like I hit him with my sword. You know, and
Yeah.
it goes on and on like that. And then I think this game really excels in that because it says in combat roles you really only need one to resolve an encounter.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a real fight like encounter in the last Sunday.
No, we didn't have.
But there will be in the future.
Okay. Yeah. So that was fun. Blades and we have a new little. I don't know if we talked about that. We have a little new picture.
Oh.
On our, but it's not that notable.
It's kind of old actually. It's a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we have a little tiny marker board on our refrigerator, and currently we have a boxing match set up between Mitch the Hermit Blanco and Lee Trick Up His Sleeve Carpenter.
Lee Trick Up His Sleeve Carpenter his head is like a boxing glove spring thing. I don't know what you call it. A jack in the box with a boxing glove.
Yeah,
on it.
exactly. That's his trick up the sleeve. And
it's kind of an unfair fight because Mitch the Hermit Blanco, he's kind of just like a guy with big cheeks.
Yeah, I like his expression though. He's very. I think Herman's gonna take over this room. I'm kind of convinced.
Really?
Yeah.
Herman's the plant.
Yeah, he's now reaching down with all of his limbs. He's reaching down to at least the first shelf, and with one of his limbs, he's reaching down to the second shelf, almost below that. So I think we're gonna come back in here one day, and then we're both gonna
It'll
go
be a
home for the
jungle.
weekend, and it's gonna,
Yeah.
we're gonna come back, and the whole place is gonna be taken over.
Do you know if how his roots are? How big his roots are?
I
If
have
they're going
no
up?
idea. How do you check for that?
It'll like be peeking through the dirt.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Probably. Yeah. I'd guess it'd be fine right now.
Yeah, he's looking good. Okay, I have a list. Do we want to move on?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I have a list of conspiracy theory topics, and so I think I want to run through those, and we'll make this episode kind of improv conspiracy theory centered. I think that's one of our favorite things to do.
Improv Conspiracy Theory Podcast.
Are you gonna edit that?
Yeah, I'm
again?
gonna edit that. Should we pause
It's
it right now? Or should we?
15:57.
15:57.
There we go. 15:57. Okay, so how do we want to do this? So I have a list of 9. How do we want to?
All right,
do you want to throw
I'll
out
say
numbers?
All right.
Okay.
So say 2 numbers.
Yeah, from 1 to 9.
6 and 9.
Okay, 6 and 9. Okay, the moon landing and life is a simulation.
Okay. All right. So let's get this out of the way.
So all right.
Moon landing
Ground-
was faked.
So ground rules for just quick, very, very, very quick for improv conspiracy. There's 2 topics, or generally cryptid or conspiracy theme in nature. But what we're really trying to do is draw the connections between these 2 things, and because we do believe that they're, as of the moment where Ben says 2 random numbers, we believe these 2 conspiracies are tied.
Oh yeah,
through and
absolutely
through.
linked.
And then as a cherry on top, we will also be discussing the possibility of the Illuminati being not the possibility, the assurity of the Illuminati being involved within all of this. Okay, getting right back into it. We have the moon landing and life is a simulation.
So, it's a well-known fact that the moon landing was faked.
Right. I think that's another thing we can get out of the way.
We can both agree.
Yeah, the moon landing was faked.
But by who, do you think?
We've heard some things about this, I'm sure. The moon landing. It was
Directed by
NASA.
Stanley Kubrick. That's the thing.
Really?
Yeah, it was directed by Stanley Kubrick, the moon landing was.
Okay. Stanley Kubrick, did he do...
2001: A Space Odyssey, Full Metal Jacket, Eyes Wide Shut,
Okay.
The Shining.
He's respected.
He is probably, out of all the directors in history, he's probably in the top 3, like, most respected of all time.
Okay. So it makes sense that they'd choose someone so...
Yeah, and it was right off the bat of 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, like, Space Odyssey just came out, and they're like, okay, dude, you knocked it out of the park. You should direct this moon landing.
Now, when did the moon landing come in to play as far as, like, the space race?
Oh, it's the space race.
When was the moon? Is the moon where does the moon landing fall?
It kind
in
of
that?
ended the space race, I believe.
Ended the space race because we wanted to get
that was the end goal.
progress. We wanted to get like people into the atmosphere. What was like the road? It was like an orbit we wanted to do. I can't remember.
So it started with Sputnik in the 50s.
And that was
I
just
believe.
getting some. That was just
that
like
started the space race.
Okay, and those were the Russians, right?
Yes, and that was in 1950 something.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess 57.
Okay.
You gonna look it up?
No. Just continue talking about this. So we have Sputnik.
Started
It's
the
just like
space race.
getting us into
And
space.
that was I think Sputnik was the first satellite launched into space. But don't quote me on that.
Oh, he's American. That's no fun, is it?
But he spent most of his time in Europe. At the end of his
Really?
life, I believe so. Yeah, at the end of his life, he was deadly terrified of flying in planes.
Oh.
Like horribly would not do it. So his last movie, Eyes Wide Shut, takes place in New York. But he didn't want to fly there. So they built an entire set of New York, like a street of New York City for the movie.
What?
Like in the UK.
Like
And
full-size buildings?
yeah.
Holy cow.
And then also, in Full Metal Jacket, the same thing happened. He didn't want to fly to shoot on location, so they shipped in palm trees and stuff to make it look like Vietnam.
So this is someone who will go to enormous lengths to get a project done.
Yes. Oh, he was an absolute perfectionist. In The Shining, he was known to do thousands of takes for all throughout the movie. And have you seen The Shining?
Part of it.
Do you know this? You know the scene where Shelley Duvall is looking at the typewriter and she's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that. Stanley Kubrick typed every single one of those out himself.
Really?
Yeah, all of those. He did that himself.
Jeez.
And he was going to direct a film based on Napoleon Bonaparte, his life, like a biopic, and he had thousands of notes that detailed every day what Napoleon Bonaparte did, like documented his daily life during that time. So he might have been autistic, and he was just so dedicated. Like there was something in his mind that just drove him to do these things.
Yeah. So it's a possibility that Stanley Kubrick may have directed the moon landing.
Yes.
And life is a simulation.
So, I don't know if I can.
Because with life being a simulation, we're not just saying the moon landing was fake. We're saying everything's fake.
Yeah. So
therefore, I think the moon landing falls into the life is a simulation bit. Because not only was the moon landing a simulation, but our lives are a simulation.
Yeah. I almost threw up in my mouth.
Ew. Gross. Why?
I was gonna burp and then
Gross.
and more came out.
Gross. Well.
So we're assuming that that theory is true, that fact is true, that life is a simulation.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it being simulated? Do you think? Is it like
maybe the moon landing is the only thing that's real?
Whoa! Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay, so let's break. Okay, so life.
Are we being controlled by? We're like a video game. We're like an avatar.
Or I think more likely we've been built as an algorithm, an AI, right?
Yeah.
The world has.
Yeah.
There's programs for generating life, for generating weather, just the world.
I was just gonna say that,
There's an algorithm for this. It's procedurally generated, you know, and basically we're just living in a program, and it's running. Just time and things are changing and generations are passing and going and things. History is being written down for us, but it's all simulation.
Yeah.
So for us, it's real enough. It's just the fact that it's not real. So it doesn't really matter if it's real, but it is a simulation. So what I'm proposing is that although our life in here, this type of world that we're living in, is being simulated from a future generation. So imagine our life right now is being simulated in a program built in like 4025, and they're using these simulations. And they probably have many. This is like Earth. This is Earth. This is no. This isn't Earth. This is the Milky Way galaxy. 253. So we're like in a series of Milky Way galaxies that's being procedurally
more than one
procedurally run, right? Because they've generated this Earth, and they're using it as kind of like a history. They're like going back and they're running programs and seeing what would happen if this thing changed. So like maybe in our this simulation. In this simulation, like global warming, like ends up destroying us within the next blank years.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in a simulation, and I think that from the maybe.
So I'll play. You want me to play devil's advocate?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
The thing is, the moon landing, that's the problem. We know
Yeah.
all these things are facts. This
Yeah.
life is a simulation, but how does, we're getting... The moon landing is the only thing that's real.
Okay, so should we continue with that, or should we figure something else out?
Maybe we've broken through.
I was
in this
just gonna say that.
simulation, we've broken through.
That was our attempt.
Part of our world, like the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Like part of our world is breaking out of the simulation, and we controlled a moon land. We controlled an actual moon landing expedition in 4,000. Whatever. So in the future, we're controlling a moon landing. Wait, we're in the future.
Okay.
We're in the future. 'Cause,
Yeah.
right, we only exist in this realm.
Yeah.
This 4,000. I'm just gonna use the year 4,000. In
Okay.
4,000, they have the technology to run simulations on past versions of Earth.
Okay.
This is our program. I'm making a ball with my fist and there's a little thing that's coming out of it. Mm-hmm. This is us, right?
Yeah.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in our simulation, we're here in this series of other simulations in 4,000, right? So we somehow broke out of our simulation and controlled something on planet 4,000 to go to the moon. And we got it broadcast into our simulation. If you have any other ideas.
Okay, so I like it, but I don't understand it.
What if the moon landing is a simulation within our simulation?
Okay, you want me to give you my idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we're one simulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if everything was the same except for the fact that the moon landing was faked? In all the other simulations, the moon landing was real.
Yeah.
But in this one, the moon landing is fake.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they wanted to see what would happen.
Oh, okay. They wanted to see what if it would go unchecked.
Yes.
What would happen.
So then in the year 4000 on that planet,
Yep.
if they say, okay, if people can believe, if they figure out the moon landing was faked,
Mm-hmm.
then we shouldn't. Then we'll cancel all our plans to try to fake other stuff too.
Okay.
But then if they don't figure it out, then we're like, all right, now we can do this.
This is that's more very clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice. So it's just the fact that in our simulation being run by Earth 4000,
Mm-hmm.
or the moon landing in our simulation was faked.
Yes.
Was faked.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I
Okay.
think that as a general rule, the Illuminati are behind. I almost think it's Earth 4000
Mm-hmm.
is completely comprised of the Illuminati.
Okay.
I think that the Illuminati, over the course of these next less than 2,000 years or whatever, from today to then, the Illuminati has kind of overcome. This is just my guess. To what's outside of our simulation, that's basically just a world,
Yeah.
full of people that are
Full
just
of the
kind of
elites.
full of
The
the
elite
elites.
elites.
Yeah, they're just kind of playing around with
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, they're just so they've just split off,
Yeah,
and then they're just on this planet or this moon or whatever
Yeah.
called Earth 4000
yeah,
or Earth whatever year it is,
yeah.
and they change the name of the planet yearly. So they're using their simulation technology to figure out what else they can get away with and what else
Yep.
they can do.
Yep, I agree.
All right,
I agree with that. Okay, give me two other numbers besides
6 and 9.
6 and 9.
How about let's do 1 and 4.
Global warming and I wrote down warning. Global warming and New Coke.
Ooh.
So do you know the New Coke theory?
Yes,
or conspiracy?
that they purposefully did New Coke so that people would get mad and then buy old Coke.
Yes, exactly. So we have global warming, and if you don't know what New Coke is, it was basically exactly what Ben said. It was they basically changed the formula, and then everyone got
peeved.
Pissy, and then they changed it back. But they made a lot of money off it.
They did.
Because it was basically just a huge thing that I was like, oh, New Coke, this is garbage. And then you basically, it's probably both. One, people stocked up on Coke before New Coke was released, or they stocked up on the old Coke that was what was left of it while New Coke was being produced and released. And after New Coke was shut down, people went back to old Coke.
Yeah. I think Bill Cosby did the ad for them.
Really?
Yeah, for the New Coke ad.
Okay, when was this? What year was this?
80s.
80s. Okay.
I think it was the 80s. Ow!
Jeez.
All right. So for this impromptu conspiracy theory, are we saying that global warming is real or fake?
Oh, that's interesting.
In relation to New Coke.
Well, what's more controversial? The fact that global warming is false? Is that what we want to go with?
I was in the bathroom the other day.
I don't. It's Coke that's causing all these issues. It's New Coke that's causing all these issues, and it's global warming. We can either go New Coke is causing global warming, or New Coke is global warming is being blamed for what New Coke caused.
Real quick. I was in the bathroom.
I
was in the bathroom the other day, and I was just washing my hands, and this dude walks in, and he's like, oh, he just sighs really loudly, and he goes, man, global warming's fake. That's the only thing he said. And he talked to his friend. His friend's like, all right, and then he walked out.
What in the world?
I was like, what is going on here? That's the future. Yeah. That's the future of America right there.
Our livelihoods are in his hands.
Yeah, they are. So, all right, what direction are we headed with this?
Right. I mean, what do you think about global warming?
Okay, so obviously, global warming was made up by China.
It's right. It's not.
It's true. It's true.
It's not as. I think that there are some very obvious correlations between New Coke and global warming.
Okay. What about this? What if we take the reasoning behind New Coke and try to add it onto global warming?
Okay.
The meaning, you know what I'm trying to say? Meaning they introduce something bad, so then they'll go back to...
Oh, interesting. There may be some parallels.
Yeah.
Okay, so what exactly is... Okay, we need to find out who is benefiting from
besides the Illuminati.
Who is benefiting from a generated global warming
by the Chinese.
By the Chinese. And so so now we've figured it out. So Chinese are benefiting.
Yeah, of course.
Easy.
Yeah. I didn't realize it.
So maybe we just need to look at motive.
Okay.
What is China getting out of global warming?
They want to have the most people.
They want to have the most people.
Yeah, in their country.
China used New Coke, the funds gained from New Coke, to develop and install technology in the poles to heat it up and melt the ice.
Okay.
Because they
wanted the polar bears for the zoo.
Are we on the same page?
Yes.
The ice melts.
Okay.
The weather gets warmer. And...
Wait, what was the technology that they used exactly? Did they use... Okay, oh wait, I think I know. Actually, I read an article on this. I just remembered. They used giant, what are they called? Blow dryers?
If I had to guess, I was going to say it was either aerial or subterranean.
So it's one of two options.
It's one of two options. And I don't think they can get away with aerial. So I think they have done it. You ever heard you dig straight down, you end up in China?
Yeah.
Thing?
Did they do that?
The Chinese are very well known for their tunnels. I think that there are a series of tunnels.
For the tunnels leading to China.
Yes, for the tunnels leading to China and also to the poles. I think they've dug a series of tunnels, maybe even like a cavern sort of thing. They have this giant heater that basically just moves it around. I'm making a motion with my hands that you can't see, but it's basically being dragged along the undercarriage of the mantle or the crust.
Yeah.
The crust. It's being dragged around, and honestly, I think that could be connected a lot with a lot of in global warming as well, with a lot of like natural disasters. I think that's agreed with upon everyone. It's doing a lot of it's doing a lot of damage to the crust, the mantle, different things that could cause earthquakes, tsunamis. So I think they're heating things up, and they're going to move once. Why aren't there people living in the poles in Antarctica right now?
I mean, there's a few.
It's simple.
Oh,
it's
okay.
simple.
Well, why?
Because it's too cold.
Oh, okay.
No capital is being made in these places. Once the poles melt,
Yeah.
China will start to move capital to these places, and that's
They're gonna move
exactly
Beijing
that's
there?
exactly what I think is going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know how I can tie this back to New Coke. So, China, I believe they didn't have a lot of money in the 80s, right? They struck a deal with the Koch brothers. They said, okay, here's an idea. You can do New Coke, right? We'll invest in you to do this New Coke thing, and then Koch brothers stopped and they said, whoa, what? New Coke? Excuse me?
Yeah, they knew, like everyone else, that New Coke wasn't. I mean, they should stick with their formula.
Yeah,
It's
they're saying what are you talking about?
What does that
New
even
Coke?
mean?
Change
Right.
the formula? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are we serious?
Yeah.
And then China stopped and said, whoa, slow down. Think about what will happen. And they said, people get mad at us. And then exactly. And they say, what? Why do you want them to get mad at us? They'll get mad and buy old Coke.
Yep.
They'll say, we want the old Coke. So then they go, all right, give us your money and we'll invest in that and get Bill Cosby to do an ad for us. Because I'm guessing that was like the height of his fame pretty much.
Yep.
And they gave him they used all of China's money to pay him to do that commercial.
Yep.
And then bada bing, bada boom, China has enough money to dig those tunnels.
Yep, exactly.
And do that. Global warming.
Yep. And so I honestly would guess within the next 3 years, China will be moving most of its production facilities to the poles. All right. So how does the Illuminati? So now we're working with the Illuminati.
Okay, so of course, sometimes the Illuminati.
I think the Illuminati gave them access to the underground, because I think it's well known that the outside of the Earth is more. It's like humans, right?
Yeah.
It's human. It's just like normal, like civilians, governments, blah, blah, all that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
the
then
puppets.
under the puppets, and then the inside, just on the inside, like basically the rest of the Earth is meant for the Illuminati and is inhabited by the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Being controlled. I think that's like a well-known fact that the middle of the core of the Earth is inhabited by the Illuminati, by members of the elite.
And
So I think Illuminati is getting a cut once again from the Chinese, and I think they're orchestrating the production facilities, probably the placements, but they're basically giving them real estate underneath the poles.
But
that's what I think.
Really, the cut that they get, it's what's a word I'm looking for? It's meaning it doesn't mean anything, or it's
non-substantial.
it's like a courtesy,
Okay,
because Illuminati, they have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally have more money than every single human combined on this planet. So that by giving them the
cut's more of just slowing China down a little bit.
Yes.
They want to not make it. They want to kind of even out. They want to even things out. They don't want to give They don't want to give one group of people too much of an advantage.
Yeah, and also they're making it seem like they're not as powerful as they are.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Exactly.
So they're saying, we have to give them a cut. So they, there's still this entity that needs money.
Yeah, but it's not true.
Yeah,
It's not true. I think we've said it before. We'll say it again. We'll say it 1,000 times. You don't win in a deal with the Illuminati. Okay? You're not coming out on top.
No, you might think you are, but really
never.
No.
Never. If you are ever in a situation where you're about to make a deal with an Illuminati member, just remember you are giving more than you're taking. Most of the time, 10 times over.
Yeah.
And so, but let that be a warning to you.
Yeah.
Okay, we need 2 more numbers.
3 and 7.
Natural disasters and Walt Disney.
Ooh, okay. Should we focus in on a specific natural disaster?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do. Should we do
Australia.
Australia?
The what?
The wildfires.
Yeah.
All right. That'd be a good one. Because it's current right now.
Yeah.
But I don't really know anything about it. Do you know stuff about it?
Like
I don't know where it is or.
No.
I was thinking the 2008 tsunami in Japan.
Oh, okay.
But I mean that's just an idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Australia?
Let's do the tsunami.
Okay.
I mean, I think that we can agree that probably all natural disasters are a result of actions taken by Walt. But let's focus in on that 2008.
Okay. How about this? Natural disasters happen by Walt Disney and Disney Corporation when something threatens them. You know. So here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think this one's already locked out.
Yeah. Can you look up what Hayao Miyazaki movies came out most closest to 2008?
How do you spell that?
Just say Studio Ghibli. G8, yeah.
Ghibli movies.
2008.
No, I'm gonna put 2008. 2008. Ponyo.
Okay, perfect. So that's actually what I was thinking about that movie. Actually, I was like, I wonder if Ponyo came out in 2008 or not. So, Studio Ghibli, basically the Disney of Japan. Can you look up what Disney movies came out in 2008?
Every Disney movie coming out in 2008. All right, so we have Bolt, The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, High School Musical 3, Bedtime Stories, WALL-E, and then Ponyo.
Okay.
That's not by Disney.
Let's do. Okay, so Walt Disney came out with Bolt in 2008, and then Walt Disney sitting back in his. So his mind is basically a computer. Like he transferred his soul and consciousness into a computer so he can live forever. Everyone knows that. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Or he basically decapitated himself. So now and then froze his head, but then his subconscious lives on in a computer.
Okay.
Everyone knows that. Whatever. Not a surprising fact.
That's vanilla. If you don't know about that, then
it's
pause the podcast and go listen to.
It's like knowing that Brad Pitt was in Fight Club.
Right.
You know. So he's sitting back, and they just released Bolt, and he's sitting back in his chair, in his electronic chair, whatever. And he says
his head is reclined. His frozen head is reclined.
He had who's a higher up at Disney?
A newly furbished lazy boy.
Yeah. See, he had someone high up in Disney put his head set him on a chair.
It's encased. He has a custom lazy boy that has his block head encased in the head panel, so he can feel like a normal man.
Yeah.
So he doesn't go mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's sitting back, and then he's smoking an electronic cigar, and he's saying, "Man, you know what? We put out Bolt. This is going to be a good year." And then Japan fires back
with Ponyo.
And then Walt Disney is looking at that, and he goes, "Excuse me?
Oh gosh.
Excuse me." And then Ponyo absolutely demolishes Bolt at the box office.
Right,
the critics are raving about Ponyo.
Yeah.
Right? They are just absolutely taking poops on Bolt. They're saying Bolt is the worst movie of all time. John Travolta is terrible in that movie. Ponyo is where it's at. So Walt Disney gets angered by this, and he says, "Okay, bring me the button." And then the button is a natural disaster button. so he hits the button with his robot arm, and then a tsunami hits Japan.
Jeez.
And then that's his revenge for them releasing Ponyo and doing better than Bolt.
Okay.
And that's my theory.
Okay. Well, mine's close.
Okay.
Mine's close. Simply put, I think that Walt Disney uses the chaos and harm and destruction and sadness from generated natural disasters. So Disney, what does Disney do? Disney sends out a natural disaster. What happens?
So they send out a natural disaster. I mean, people.
Tornado, like a tsunami hits.
Okay.
What are the effects of that?
Oh,
I mean, it's
people lose their
devastating.
homes.
Yeah.
There's, people send in relief money. There's aid.
Exactly.
There's a big media attention about it.
So now we balance this large negative.
Mm-hmm.
We balance this large negative with a positive. What do people want to do when they're sad?
Go to watch a movie.
Exactly. And what better studio to watch than a studio who has made Disney. I mean, so many theme parks revolving around the ideas, creating characters that bring joy to children and families, and brings them tighter together. And so, what I think is
because can I say something real quick?
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like if the kids are happy,
exactly.
the wife's happy,
exactly.
And have you heard the saying, "Happy wife, happy life"?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Very true.
All right.
Very true.
What are you going to say?
No, exactly. I just think that Disney is basically creating natural disasters to then kind of put them in a position to have their movies be more
like hard-hitting?
tasteful, hard-hitting,
poignant,
desirable. You want to go see a movie, you want to go experience this thing that's happy. It's kind of a relief. It's a de-stressor. It kind of you just forget everything else when you're watching this movie. Yeah. And Walt Disney knew that, and so he uses his movies to capitalize on the loss brought about by natural disasters that are created by Disney itself, or Walt Disney himself, because we all know he's still alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Illuminati I think it's their technology that is being used.
Oh, without a doubt, they're the ones that gave them that technology.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking.
And so I think both of ours will probably have some merit. Mm-hmm. Fairly straightforward.
Yeah, and really, so yours is it's really they go can go together.
They go hand in hand. Yep.
It's perfect because they can both happen at the same time.
Yep.
Because if mine happens, and then it leads right into yours.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
So, what does the Illuminati get out of this? Just the
amusement.
sheer.
I think honestly, I think it's just for the
amusement.
Yep.
I was gonna say sheer pleasure.
Yeah.
Of it. Because there's no. I mean, I know I'm risking my life by saying this, but there's no one more despicable than an Illuminati member. Like no one more morally bankrupt than. Well, actually, that might be a compliment to them.
Yeah.
By saying they're morally bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying thank you.
Right.
I take pride in my
exactly.
evilness.
Yeah. Well, this may be our last episode, unfortunately.
What?
Well, if we get taken out because.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, we could freeze my head, like Walt Disney.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do another one. Let's add one more so then we can do all of them. So then there would be an even 10.
Okay, I think actually I would just have time for one more. I think.
Oh, okay.
Vaccination.
Oh yeah, because lunch
and
is
I
gonna
think we're
end
close.
pretty soon.
The warming.
2 and 8.
Vaccination and Hollow Earth.
Oh, okay. So I think you know more about Hollow Earth than me.
Yeah, so it's basically just the theory that Earth is hollow. Essentially, it's basically just there really is only one inhabited place by us, the sheep, the puppets, whatever you will, and then everything else. There's kind of just nothing in the Earth.
Yeah,
and it's kind of just been constructed by the Illuminati.
The Earth has been
as their the center is more of their domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then vaccines. Well-known facts cause autism.
And other
extra limbs.
Yeah, kind of physical abnormalities.
They cause depression.
Yeah.
That people before when were vaccines invented? Early 1900s, 1800s. The polio vaccine.
Yeah.
No one was depressed before then.
Yeah.
That's a well-known fact. That is indisputably, including anxiety, including OCD, basically anything that's in the DSM. The DSM was brought about after vaccines were invented.
Yeah, because of vaccines.
Yeah, because after they started vaccinating people, all of a sudden these things started showing up in the gene pool.
Yeah.
And people said, "What do we do? We got to classify these."
Yeah.
But they didn't draw the link to vaccines, probably because they had the money. They were in it for the money of the vaccines.
I think that there may be something in vaccines that's suppressing. It's almost like when we talked about chemtrails. I think there's something in vaccines specifically to alter or kind of dissuade or reflect someone from finding out about the Hollow Earth. I think that the vaccine is kind of like Illuminati sanctioned.
Okay.
And it's basically
it's like a buffer almost?
It's like a buffer between the human brain and the concept of Hollow Earth.
Okay. Like it somehow
blocks from like the complete belief, or like if you actually went to go and you got to a point where you could discover a Hollow Earth or do anything really that would affect the would kind of threaten its existence.
It could be.
It's like a buff. It's kind of buffer. It's like an instant kill switch. I think that if you are close enough to finding out or discovering that Hollow Earth is a real thing, I think it's a kill switch.
I was thinking maybe so it makes us so that we can only go so deep into Earth. You know, so
before we turn back.
Okay.
No, exactly. What were we gonna say? Because I'm like. It'll
make us so it somehow makes something in our bodies that makes us vulnerable to pressure underneath the Earth. So that we can't grow.
Almost physically.
Yeah.
It can't. It just doesn't let us do that. Right. Okay.
So you can theorize it because the Illuminati is all right with people theorizing about them.
Yeah.
Because
that's
like
true.
what are you going to do? About it?
Exactly. I agree with you. I think it's more of like an actual. You cannot get. To a point where you can discover Hollow Earth because of vaccines. I think you're right.
Yeah. So what were you going to say?
No, that's exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was.
So then, what do we do about the people that aren't vaccinated, though?
I think we should capitalize on them to go and use as search parties.
Okay.
We should find a hole and throw them into it.
I mean, and that solves two problems because one, it makes it so that people don't get diseases anymore. Because, like, I don't know why, but like people that don't get vaccines, like they get these weird illnesses.
Yeah, no, it's strange. Yeah, so basically, I just think we should use
them as search parties. Like send them, get them in a big elevator.
Exactly, and just
drop
send
them
down
and see what they find.
So that's what I think. Case closed.
Okay, so we send them down there. What do you think they'll find?
Honestly, I don't even think our minds can
comprehend it.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. It's a safe answer too.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think so there had to be someone that found out that vaccines were causing all these diseases.
Yeah.
And then all the celebrities like I think it's Jenny McCarthy. Who was the starter of the anti-vax movement.
Okay.
And how do you think that came about? Like do you think someone just figured it out that vaccines were?
Of this? Yeah, I think there may have been cases of people getting close, actually. And then they're like, I think there's something that's going on, like an underground research. There's underground research that's going on that's like kind of studying. I don't know.
It has to be someone that's against vaccines.
Yeah. I mean, it could be any. Honestly, I don't know much about the anti-vaccine, so I think it's just kind of like a vegan-funded...
whatever.
Yeah, natural medicine funded. But, I mean...
hippie, like...
Yeah, they're getting to the root of the issue, and for that I'm thankful. They're making Earth a safer place to live.
I mean, it's already too late for me because I've been shot up with so many vaccines I can't even I
It's
can
like
barely function.
It's like we're yeah.
Against my will.
We're not able to draft. It's like we were like it's like in the draft. It's like a war. It's like a war for Hollow Earth.
Do you think that the reason that people that don't get vaccines, the Illuminati gives them these diseases as like a punishment?
Yes, that's, you know what, I think you're on the right track. That's definitely part of it.
How do you think they do that? You think? They just kind of
Any-
chemtrails maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, there's a lot of different ways.
It's just too complicated to, like, there's splinter cells. Like, people, you'll meet a guy, shake his hand on the subway.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's countless ways. I mean, just simply like they could be pumping like the air, just
like
anything.
the radiator over there.
Anything. McKay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the brand of our radiator.
It was making a weird sound the other day.
Was it?
Yeah, but not anymore.
Our brains are gonna be wiped.
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay. Well, I think that's
That was a good ep.
yeah. There's only so long we can. I feel like discussing these conspiracies is like holding a hot potato.
Yeah.
And if we hold the hot potato, we're gonna get burned by the Illuminati. So
Yeah.
we need to toss it up,
Yeah.
and then we catch it later on. We discuss.
Yep.
Foop, we
Foop.
toss it up again. You know, we're close to danger
Yeah.
right now. But thank you.
Yeah.
Once again, Benjamin.
Thank you, Ethan.
And okay, grab that weathered old uke, Benny.
All right. Ow, jeez, my leg hurts. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's count down for old time's sake. 1, 2,
And
3, 4.
What is it?
All right, we need to count down again.
Okay, all right.
Okay. 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4.